Hi, I'm Rob, and next up in my Faction 500 series is the Sea of Sorrow. How to do every single faction in the Underworld using the Delve team on the hardest level. Horde level's 150 for this. It's a good number to be at for this. Your troops hit a nice and hard and give a lot of life at the same time, which is how you basically get through this. So let's take a look at the team and why I left out certain troops. So let's take a look at the options which we have here. All kingdoms. Let's go to Sea of Sorrows, or Sea of Sorrower, not an S. So other troops available were Clamlasher and Mershark, but Clamlasher does true damage to an enemy and remove all gems of one of their mana colors. That is not as valuable as something like this, which does true damage to two random allies and submerges myself and a random ally that can save you from certain troops on other levels. Hammerclaw is really good for this. Gains life if there are 13 or more blue gems. Gain a little bit of attack, but then does explode either a row or column, so we'll get some mana back at the same time. And is the only troop we have to pick from where we got 50% reduction from skull damage, which is very nice indeed. So we'll have one of those up top. Didn't bother with Mershark. Does a true splash damage to an enemy boosted by submerged allies, because for the same reason as this. This does true damage to two random allies, and the submerge is invaluable versus certain opponents. Sea Witch, though, is useful. Creates 8 blue and 8 brown gems, submerge, enrage, and give life to a ally. Typically, we'll cast this on the top troop, which is really nice because we get to benefit from the enrage, so our skulls hit harder and bypass the traits. But as well as that, if we actually need life on any one of our other troops, like on the last stage, when you start getting hit, like you can get these bottom troops in a bit of danger, or Sea Witch herself could be in a bit of danger, then you can cast this on them to give them a nice bunch of life. Don't worry about the enraged so much sometimes. Keeping your troops alive is the key thing. So that is going to be the way I go about this, using 2 times Deep King to deliver 2 lots of true splash damage. Really cool. And the submerge super handy as well. And all merfolk gain 3 attack on 4 or 5 gem matches. We're going to benefit from generating loads of blue and brown with the Sea Witch. Just be a bit careful when you cast it. If there's a low amount of blue and brown on the board, 6 blue, 9 brown, whatever, that's not a very good number. You want double figures of some of these a lot of the time to make sure that has a decent chance of getting a 4 match and plenty of mana for your team. And little word of warning on the last stage, be really careful when you cast this, because if you cast this and it sets up their Sea Witch when it's ready to cast, then they can get an absolutely ton of mana from this, and it can work against you in a really big way. And Hammerclaw will cast this quite regularly. Make sure it's nice and safe up top. It's pretty resilient from skulls, reduced damage from skulls by 50%, and it generates a bit of mana at the same time. So basically, we're going to look after our team with a Sea Witch, give enrage to the top troop when we can to benefit from that, and use our Deep King to dish out most of the damage, but we'll pick them skulls when they're there at the same time. The banner for this, I'm going to go for a +2 brown, +1 blue, and -1 yellow banner of elements from Nexus. Right, first battle then against a similar team to ourselves. First one should be fairly straightforward. Only thing you've really got to look out for is basically things like the Sea Witch creates the 8 blue and 8 brown gems as our one does. There's a lot there. They can get a lot of mana really quickly. But if there's not a lot there, and ours is ready to cast, then that's when you can let their one cast first, and it will basically put a lot of brown and blue on the board, which makes our cast a lot better. So we'll see if that situation comes up, and see if we can benefit from it. Let's just trade a few skulls. It is good to cast this though when we can, because basically it's the enrage and life to the first ally, which is mega valuable. But we'll cast this first because any mana we pick up extra is going to be useful. Alright, it's quite a good amount there. 11 and 8, a reasonable chance. Always cast it on the top troop, unless you've got somebody else in dire need of life, because the enrage is really, really useful. Right, let's gain some life get rid of these stone blocks. That is going to be not too shabby. Enraged. Bypasses the traits. But only for one hit. But it's going to be enough now to get rid of them. So good. They are gone. Let's cast our Deep King. That's going to get rid of that top troop. Not enough. Not enough. Not enough. Don't cast it just because it's there. Better to waste a turn than it is to actually make a mistake where it's going to charge up a lot of their team really quickly. Slightly better now, but we can take it normally. It's all good. No rush. Take your time with these. A lot of these are a kind of test of patience and just doing things the right way. Don't play at the same speed I'm doing now. I play these a bit faster than what you should do. A, because I'm used to them, done most of these kind of things several times. And I kind of know what to expect to a certain degree. But take your time with them. Can literally make one mistake on a certain level and you can lose a troop, which will just basically end the run sometimes. Right, who have we got next? This is where we can play around with our medals if we need to. That was 3 times nicer for the first one. You're looking mainly for traits, like negative status effects on our team, which give the enemy a bonus and things like that. Or double damage or something. So this just gains armor. And all other allies gain 5 attack and mana, not too bad. Wraith steals life or steals mana. Inflict death mark when doing skull damage. So this is where you have to think about this slightly, like we definitely want to get rid of that kind of before we finish that off. That does reflect 24% of skull damage as well, so we have to be careful. So we're not looking for skulls mainly on this. We're looking to basically kill them troops with the Deep King, because 20% of skull damage is a lot. And if we let them start hitting us with skulls once we get rid of this one, then we can get death mark. So if you're worried about that, then stick on some medals of Orpheus to help cleanse off the death mark. Enchants the strongest ally and transforms green to purple. And creates a load of skulls. Right, but still going with this team. 3 times nicer. Just got to think about it slightly when we cast our troops to make sure we don't give this thing the opportunity to death mark us, for example. Right, so not actually too concerned about enraging the top ally anymore, but we are going to take the life because we want to get rid of this first. So 8 and 9 is alright, but not spectacular. Just want to gain some life at first. See if we pick up anything useful from that. Oh, crikey. How many bonus skull hits for the AI? At least 2. Right, our first Deep King is ready next round. This is going to give us the blue we need for our first one and make our other one well on the way. But let's check this first. Transform green to purple. Need to mess this up. There's so much for them, it is crazy. And they got it on this side as well. Right, this is not a fantastic cast, but it may well mess that up. Now green to purple is kind of rubbish, which is good. We want it to be rubbish. Got a little bit there. Not worried about that though. So let's cast this. Let's get that damage going down. They haven't cast it yet anyway, so let's mess up that area so they get hardly anything from it at all. Happy days. Like I say, I don't really want to kill that top troop just yet. I want to make sure I hit him with lots of Deep King damage first before it's gone. We can cast our Deep Kings back to back in 2 rounds time, so this is not too bad. Don't care about that. Right, come on, pick on their wraithy thing. That. And again. Yeah, good. It took some good damage then. 11 blue makes this a fairly decent cast for this. Oh, we've sort of accidentally killed that top troop. See, there's a death mark coming, you see, so this is the risk now. Didn't actually want those skull hits to come in. Just going to have to go for this. 12 and 12, really good chance of an extra turn. Didn't work though. Wow. That was somewhat shabby, but we've shaken off the death mark naturally. Good. See, that's the risk. If in doubt, have a couple of Orpheus medals on at the same time. And oh no, we're still death marked. We've got another skull hit. Damn. So we have to wing it again. You see, you need to get rid of this thing. Well, that one's gone. They got another one. It's like game of the bonus skull hits. Come on, loads of blue. Really good chance for this. What the fidgety fudge? I don't what? Come on, we can hang in there. They got skull hits all over the place, courtesy of Sceleros. Can take another one though. Unless we do that. So we're like, nerves are jangling. See if we can survive. It's a death mark. Just them left. Are we going to hang in there? Oh, another skull hit. Oh dear. That's why it's not great to leave that thing last. Or second even. Right. 10 blue, we've got to go for it. Come on. One day, one of them will actually work. Gaining life, but permanently death marked. Come on. Loads. There's loads of stuff. There we go. So we survived, but with a death mark. So like I say, for that one, if you don't want that death mark hanging over your head, if you happen to get that room, yeah, that's only if you get that troop, by the way, that particular set of troops, because it can vary. You may not get that same set at all. But for that particular one, if you want to avoid the jeopardy of the death mark, then chuck on a couple of Orpheus medals. Okay, so we have Rock Droll, doubles the number of brown on the board, creates 3 brown gems, reduction from skulls by 50%. But if we get enraged, we're going to bypass that anyway. But it can actually inflict stun when doing skull damage to us. If they do that on us, then that gets rid of our 50% from skulls as well. So interesting little tactical battle going on here. Got to be really careful of this. Knocking the first enemy to the back, dealing damage to the first new enemy with a 50% chance to devour them if there are 13 or more brown gems. We have to be really careful of this. Don't want to set them up for that with 2 of them. Destroy row and column. Scatter damage boosted by brown. So nothing to worry about status effects. This is all about Nisha again. But with that chance of devour, have to keep the brown gems low. So for that reason, I'm already taking some brown. And we'll grab some of that. Definitely not worth the cast. Only 7 and 6, that's not enough. Right, let's gain some life. Give an extra turn on red. Not red, sorry. Yeah, red next turn. So we'll get some more brown. Take that for the green. Just get our first bit of true damage going. Stone skin, so reduction from skulls, but it's important to take them. You don't want them him hitting you. He's going to stun us. If we do, then we lose that 50% skull reduction damage ourselves, which is not a good thing to do. Quite a lot of brown and blue there. This is probably worth a go. I'll cast this first. Right, Rock Troll is ready, so I'm just going to remove the brown first. Leave as little brown as possible on the board, so we basically waste his turn. Just going to take this. Don't need it. Can use it for my bottom troop, of course. They might take this anyway. In fact, they probably will. Don't want to leave the brown on the board, though. And they had no chance of that devour because of the lack of brown on the board. But that's the thing, they have messed the team up a little bit. But if you let them mess it up enough times, basically, then it'll go back to as it was. Which is a strange thing to do, but it does work. Let's do some more true damage. 9 and 8. Reasonable. I kind of want him to cast this one more time. I need to let him do that, basically, to reset our team back to as it was. Oh, not with a couple of bonus skull hits, though. And what have we got here? Not a lot of brown for them. Let's get these out of the way first. In fact, he's going to be gone. Right, don't mind that. You can do that. Wiggle my team around again. It's kind of what I want. Right, fine. So, if the enemy gets to do that, don't panic too much if you get this team. Just literally let them do it a few more times and it will reset the team back to as they were. So we are now back to where we were. Now they can clear off. Be on your way. You're not welcome here. Right, is anybody... let's cast this there. Don't have to cast this on the top troop all the time. You can cast it on somebody else if they're low on life. Let's cast this on them. What we got here? Some blue, a bit of red, brown and a bit of red. Skull hit for him. You do that. You have a ball. Go on. Give them a little wallop with this, I think. Delves lately are really keen on giving the AI bonus skull hits when it does a move. It's happening a lot. I noticed this just more recently. And we'll take this here. This is not a bad cast though. 15 and 9, because we're not going to kill them just yet. In fact, we'll do that first. 13 and 10. Right, this is going to kill him now. Done. Good. Sea King's Lair has been dealt with. Right, so the last one. You have to be careful on this. It's very easy to come unstuck on this, even though the first stage you thought was easy. These can hit really hard and things can go wrong pretty quickly. So this gains life. Not too bad. This is damaging. Can be an absolute pain. Because it does tend to target the same troop sometimes. It's like, it says to an enemy, but it will target the same troop quite often. And we have to be really careful of this. Not set them up by casting R1 when it's a bad cast. Because if they get to benefit from all that mana color, then it can really set them up for some heavy damage. Right, so let's jump in. This is all about collecting mana for our team now, but at the same time being wary of what the enemy needs at the same time. Like, blue is good for us, but we want to take it because we want to deny them as much as possible for this, because otherwise they'll get off to a bit of a flying start. Not going to cast this yet. 5 and 10, not enough. More likely to set up their team more than anything. Trying to avoid gem matches where basically you can drop down a skull. Let's cast this. Take away this red here, see if it stops there. Mershark from collecting the colour he wanted. 11 and 11 is not bad. It's not bad. Quite tempted by that, you know. There's not a lot of value in this sort of skull hit right now, because 50% reduction from skulls. I want to go for this. Didn't work out great and left the skull hit at the same time. That's the way the cookie crumbles. They are about to do some splash damage as well. Splash damage. Alright, so let us get some brown and purple that way. Not a huge amount of value in the brown though, because our Deep King is up next round anyway, so let's start dishing out a bit of damage ourselves. Do you like to do this a double cast sometimes? No purple and blue for them to take. So I'll grab some brown while it's there. That worked out quite nice. 14 and 10 is a decent cast, so I'm going to cast this first. If you get lucky with this, you can generate absolutely stacks of mana. 14 and 10 is not bad. Alright. Is there anywhere I can cast somewhere where there's not a lot of blue and brown at the same kind of area? Not really. Just looking for a column and a row at the same time, which is not going to rip out too many of the same colour. This is not bad actually. Oh no, this row and column here is really good. If it explodes this column. No, there's quite a lot everywhere basically, so it's not good. I'll go for this. Didn't work out too bad in the end. We'll take that and party. And about to do this again. Hopefully it won't target the troops at the bottom, and it did. Crikey. See, that one's in danger already. Get some of this damage going. Quite a lot of blue and brown there. Good chance to cast this again. Sometimes you have to wing it a bit and just see what happens. I should have cast that on my Deep King actually at the bottom. That was a bit of a mistake. Lost concentration there just a tad. I'll blame it on having to narrate at the same time. That's my excuse. Alright, so this is going to be a lot of damage. Yeah, they didn't get... Oh, they did get a huge amount of that in the end. That worked out pretty nice. Right, we need to cast this because we could be about to lose that one. I mean, there's an okay chance for that. Did I have... Yes, see, I really messed up earlier. Should have really put that on that troop. Because... Right, it's going to be another, what, 65 damage. So if I put life on that, it's going to give about 100. Right, let's do this. See, that caused them to survive, which is good. We like surviving. Loads of blue and brown. This has to work really. I mean, I know we've got like troops ready to cast, but you can get like random stuff happen afterwards. We can get life as well, which is really important. Let's cast it on ourselves. Wow. Come on, game. That was amazing how they decided to do that, basically. I think we have to do this. Let us now indulge in some true damage. If we get lucky here, we could wipe out that second troop, which is really annoying. Come on! Oh, not quite work out. Need to get our second troop charged up so we can give life to our third troop and fourth troop, because they're our main damage dealers and they're both on the ropes. Haven't been frozen. Let's see if we can benefit from this angel gem. This won't be relevant depending upon when you're watching this video, because the heroic gems are around at the same time as the current campaign. But an angel gem basically gives blessed to a random ally, which is a look of super cleanse. Is this getting a bit hairy? Mary? Quite contrary. Yeah, I need to take this skull hit, basically. Keep an eye on the enemies at the same time, how much mana they've got. Yeah, we need to get this. We can take that hit. We need life to our bottom two troops. Ah, keep on kind of having to get forced to take these skull hits. Right. Give us stuff. Thank you. That was not too bad. Still quite a lot of blue and brown there though, so... Right, this is... if we get good with this, should be okay. And that should be that. Right, a lot of blue and brown there. Good chance for this to work again. Let's put that on them. Right, and now we are going to be absolutely golden. You're gone. They're going to be gone the next round. And just their bottom troop to deal with. So we can now just deny them as much blue and brown as we can. We'll do this anyway while protecting or giving extra life to one of our troops. Let's do it on them so we get some extra oompage from the skulls if we need it. Which I hope we don't, because the idea is to finish them off with true damage. Might give them a wallop anyway, just because it's funny. Not frozen, so we'll grab that first. What is... What is it enough? No. Close though. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. Because next round gets the job done. So yeah, got to be a little bit careful on that last stage. In fact, you have to be very careful and make sure you give life to the troops on your side that need it, because if the enemy targets the same troop multiple times, you can find yourself in a lot of trouble pretty quickly. But there's a video. If you enjoyed it, found anything about it useful or helpful, be really cool if you bash that like and subscribe button. It really does help. And maybe consider joining. It's at the lowest price that YouTube would let me allow. And you get to use cool custom emojis and things like that. But there's a video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.